meet when you're meeting.
I
Yeah,
thought my camera was on.
no worries.
Sorry
I've
about
also
that.
invited one of my novels. I've also invited one of my colleagues. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So I think he should
So,
be
so
joining. So if it shows up, his name is Raj.
Raj. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. That it will be interesting to have him here. I don't want to keep you long because I think you guys are on a work day. We are on a holiday this side. So
Okay.
I have all the time today, and I know you must be having a busy weekday.
Yeah.
So I won't keep you long. But thank you so much for honoring my invitation. I've been following some of the conversations and discourse that you've been part of online on LinkedIn specifically. I've been following your platform, the future of web. Interesting conversations within that space, and I think what prompted me to want to engage with you is finding out that you are based in India. And I read an article on Z Business about that India is sort of leading the adoption of Web3 globally, over 1,000 startups from that side. So I just wanted to have a better understanding of what are you getting right over there in India in terms of adoption of Web3, but also just for the platform that I'm having, break down what Web3 is, give a better understanding of how you got into Web3 and where you see it going and what are the challenges you're facing within your space in terms of helping organizations adapt from Web2 to Web3, and maybe just have a frank conversation about how these technologies, how Web3 can impact Africa as well, and the opportunities that from your side, when you look at the continent of Africa, you think this is where maybe they can get it right, especially from the point of legislature and policy, if that is something that is impacting adoption of Web3 as well. So yeah, that's what I hope this conversation will bring. But also beyond that, I hope this will be the beginning of a relationship where we can engage further. When projects sort of start, we can engage and leverage off each other to see how we can work off of that. So yeah, thank you so much for availing yourself today. If Raj does join as well, I'll give him a chance to introduce himself.
I just messaged him. He said he's going to join. I mean, actually, he heads our, he's a key account manager with us. He heads our Malaysia division. So he's
okay. Cool.
Yeah. So anyhow, so no, I think it's always a great pleasure. Like I said, I've been to Joburg, I've been to Kenya, I've been to Uganda, and yeah, I think Africa, not many other places, but these are the two I remember, at the top of my head.
Sure.
I mean, we've had customers from different countries. I think Ivory Coast was one, and Egypt is, we had a good customer. I mean, that's as far as Africa is concerned, right? Uh, why I really wanted to, I mean, why I came on this call was primarily because I wanted, I want people to have that opportunity to grow in life, in the sense that because I've extensively traveled around the world. So I have that understanding, that education can actually help people. I mean, and it's just something that naturally appeals with me. I mean, it's not today, as a profession, while running a company. But when I was, I mean, if you go 24 years ago, I was still teaching some kids in an orphanage, just English, because I knew I was good at it. So I was teaching, like that. So let's start from there. Right. So that was my one reason, why I want. And from a business point of view, the opportunities are always uh, there in countries or places which have no understanding of how new technologies work. Right? So we are, I mean, me and my company, we are uh, at the forefront of Web3. We're doing Web3. And Web3 has different tenets. I'm not sure what your understanding of Web3 is, but Web3 itself is a collective term for multiple technologies coming together. Like with blockchain, metaverse, NFTs, and then at a certain point you can have an AI convergence as well there. Then edge computing, right? So there's quite a lot of stuff within a cryptocurrencies, definitely, which is a derivative, like a which ride on top of any blockchain. So all those things are very important, right? And why they are important is that they give a lot of people, right? We all know what Web3 economies are. They give everybody a lot of freedom of expressing themselves. I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Suppose you're an artist, um, so uh, and you create art, like you physically paint things, right? For example.
Yes.
And so because you're in Durban, so your limitation will be that you can go to a gallery, show it to people, invite your friends and family. If you have money to spend, you can do some marketing, digital marketing. You can come on your local TV station and say, invite that I'm holding an exhibition. I'm a good artist. Please come and support local artists, right? And then some of them will show up, definitely, who want to support. Some will buy your product. Whereas now look at a medium where you want to give a similar experience to a people outside of Durban. Let's say to Joburg, to Cape Town. Let's look at different within
Sure.
South Africa.
Yeah.
How does that work? They will not be coming, to your place to come and have a look at your art. I mean, they don't have that much time, right?
Sure.
Even if you're Picasso of South Africa, uh, they will
Yeah.
definitely not come because it takes time, to
Showcase.
travel.
Yeah.
And right. And so what do? It's a very simple thing. You just host it on a metaverse platform and then let people have experience it. You and go and do meetups there. And then when people buy it, you can just ship it to them. The world is, like the shipping works across the globe. And if you really want to have a personal touch, and if you really want to, have some more PR points, you personally go and deliver it to them. Especially the ones that are in your reach, within Durban, within Africa, within your neighboring countries. See, what I'm trying to say is this offers a lot of. Say somebody from India can go ahead and buy that product, and then then it can be shipped, right? But once you have all those, trust, once you've built that trust, because trust will play a lot here. So it gives an artist huge amount of potential,
Sure.
to showcase to the world. And it's not just one artist. It can be a school kid. And it doesn't have to be, somebody who's 25, 30 and who's made decent money which will cost, to host a physical exhibition. A school student, when guided, properly, that's where people like you will come in, for the local community. When guided properly, can help them build this platform. That's where tech companies like us come into the picture, to help that. And then, I mean, that person can be independent,
Sure.
and start making money out of it. So this is just a very, very simple example, right? This is a very straightforward. And there are tons of examples, that we can obviously talk around how it can actually benefit the African ecosystem. And it's not just South Africa. South Africa is one of the well-off countries in Africa, right? South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania. I mean, these are all well-off countries. I mean, you have some of the richest people. Nigeria is one of the richest, you have a lot of rich people there.
Yeah.
But if you see at the local economics, it gives an opportunity to the people who are sidelined, to some extent by mainstream. Not intentionally, but because of coverage, because of they don't have accessibility.
Sure.
Right. So I think that answers part of your question about the African side.
Yeah.
From the Indian point of view, it's the one reason for me to start Future of Web was to make sure that we become the mouthpiece for industry. Tell people what we are building, right? Excuse me. And it's just not one person talking. The reason why we get founders from different companies and across the globe is what people are building, and they are the truest, how do I say it, the supporters of technology.
Yes.
Right? Not somebody sitting on the sideline, but somebody in the ground playing a match. That's where these are the creators that we get on the platform. Right? So, and once you get such creators on the platform, I mean, you're bound to, you're bound to have
Definitely.
advancement. Exactly. So I think that answers the second part of your question, what we're doing and what we're trying to build. Opportunities, they come and go. See, one big problem I see with Web3 is that Web3 is considered equal to cryptocurrency. That's a challenge. That's a misconception. And anybody who's building within the industry, either education, business, industry, whatever, right, knows this. So the important thing is for everybody, people like you who hold the mic, people like me who do a podcast, and people like Raj, who talks to different customers.
Welcome, Raj.
Hi, Raj. Hi, Raj. Good to see you. I mean, good to see your name. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, great. So it's people like us who wants to go and educate the masses. Because what happens is till the time we educate,
Yeah,
adoption will not happen. We can keep serving each other,
yeah,
but there will be an end shelf life to that. You can't keep building only serving the people in the industry. You have to make sure that you get people from the native Web2 industry to come to Web3, and that's what we are doing. So if you look
Yeah.
at my LinkedIn tagline, it is helping you transition from Web2 to
Web2.
Web3 with ease. With ease, that's the key phrase, because
with ease.
I understand. Yeah, because I understand the technology,
Mm.
and we are at the forefront of it. I mean, I want to.
Awesome.
It's good to be doing that. It's all our responsibility also.
Yeah. No, cool. Yeah, I hear you, and I think that misconception is what is leading to a lot of delay in people probably exploring opportunities that are there in Web3.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency sort of overshadows most of the other stuff, and people think when we talk about Web3, we're referring just to crypto, whereas there's other things that people can leverage off in Web3 to exploit their businesses
Yeah.
better. Sorry, Raj, I don't know if you want to show your face or.
Uh, I think he's facing some camera issues. Yesterday
Oh, okay.
also on our call, he was some facing. So he'll get that
Okay.
corrected.
I'm sorry, Yatinda.
No worries. If you're having camera issues, then it's not a problem. So I heard you, Alek, mentioning having worked with some partners in the African continent. Maybe just to clarify the type of work you would be doing with such companies to help them transition from Web2 to Web3 in the continent through your organization. What work has it mainly been, or which part of Web3 were you addressing in working with the clients in technology
Yeah.
adoption?
Yeah. So see, all these customers were natively Web2 customers. This was from my earlier life when I was heading, different, working in broadcast industry.
Yeah.
Right. In Web3 right now, we are trying to approach a few people, but we haven't had that luck, where people open up. So maybe, we have people like you where you have, you become the, you talk to the customers and we become the guys who deliver things.
Mm.
Right. So yeah, so from Raj point of view, Raj is taking care of Malaysia. So what he's doing is he's reaching out to hotels, hospitality industry, IT industry, right, education industry, and see, how, and they're opening up. In Malaysia, they're definitely opening up. How we can actually, grow Web3 as an industry, from an education point of view, from a technology point of view within Malaysia. So that's what Raj is spearheading.
Okay. And in terms of challenges around maybe scalability and security in adoption of Web3, what have been the challenges within that space?
Well, scalability is primarily the business sense right now. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you scale your business? But from a technology point of view, blockchain in itself offers, transparency and, and especially with the layer two companies like Polygon and quite a
Yeah.
lot of them, the scalability factor of, trying to make sure that, things are faster, smoother, and you can hopefully scale up with roll-ups coming in, ZK roll-ups, you might have heard about zero knowledge proof, ZKP roll-ups and stuff like that. So that's where, from a technology point of view, that's where these are helping in making scalability possible. And blockchain inherently, because the finalization happens on the layer one, which is Polygon, Ethereum in case of Polygon and Optimus and several. So it does offer, that security and transparency.
Yeah.
The question is, my point is that you should not explain, this technology to any Web2 native with heavy words like NFTs, blockchain. Oof,
Yeah.
you will lose it, especially the
You will
business
lose it.
side of people.
Sure.
Right? The decision makers are mostly the business guys. CTOs hardly make decisions, from a
Sure.
business contract, right? They make sure they deliver. So when you're talking to business people, we have to de-jargonize it. Just get away from this
The
technology
jargon,
of,
yes.
yes, blockchain, this and that. We should always tell them, the advantage it gets, that if you're able to see all your transactions transparently without anybody having the ability to change any transaction, would you like it? Fantastic. I like it. That's what blockchain can do for you.
Yeah, you're definitely
You see,
right.
So don't say, oh, you know what, blockchain is this transparency, immutability. I like these are heavy words for Web2 native. Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Raj.
So I think
is there anything you want to chip in? Following on the points that Alec was talking about now.
Okay. For Malaysian market, at this level, we are working on mostly on metaverse. Metaverse is because is will help our hospitality industry, and also what do you call, we are marketing on hospitality and also IT, because we want to
Okay.
focus on how these people can do online training, like a hospitality. We are approaching HR managers, we are approaching people who can do marketing their hospitality to the world. After the COVID, I think this is booming. So how we can really can take a look on all this stuff to promote them, help them to promote their businesses. I think that is important. In Malaysia is one of the hottest place for tourists come in because of the weather and everything, and also our seaside and everything. So we are approaching the hotels, how they can use metaverse and also augmented reality to promote their products, because people want to see, experience the look and feel before they choose any of the places. So we are working on that mostly. So we approached a couple of hotels, then we meet of next level. So that's what we fix ourselves to go with these two fields. The one is hospitality, another one is IT industry. So we are approaching these both too. But with because IT industry, everyone will do software design, they will do UI UX, they will do data, what you call big data analytics, AI analytics, machine learning, and everything. So where we can slot in is like we can give them the option to use our metaverse, as because we already have metaverse, what do you call it, hall for a rental. That's a virtual hall for rental. Anybody want to do training, they can rental our hall and do it. So that's the approach. That approach is going on now at this moment. I think we are approaching most of the people to use our this concept to promote their products. That's a method that we are using now.
Okay, cool. No, I think when you talk about Malaysia and the hotel industry, I think bringing back to South Africa, the tourism space is big. It's a huge economic driver as well for South Africa, and I think for most part of Africa as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this adoption happens within that space, and how people quickly adapt to the metaverse concept of people experiencing tourist destinations before they go there, and maybe attract more tourists. Do you see any friction currently with this metaverse experience of experiencing tourist destination, given that some of the hardware, your Apple Vision Pro and other headsets are still very much expensive? Is there any friction or challenge, or how do you think we'll overcome that to a point where maybe we have a VR headset at every household or wherever, where people can then fully experience the metaverse?
I
No,
think it's a time-consuming process, right? Oh, sorry, Raj, go ahead.
no. Get on.
No, I was just saying, that, yeah, cool. No. So see, what happens is that Apple Vision Pros are not for everybody use. I mean, how many people are using an Apple phone right now, right? So what happens is, see, from that perspective, see, they are the drivers. They are aspirational. But what will happen is who will have most of the headset devices will be the ones using MetaQuest, for that matter. Or, those are the ones, which come in the affordable range of, compared to Apple Vision Pro, though, $400, $500, $600, right?
Yeah.
So that's what will drive adoption. And then what happens is, with period of time, with technology becoming faster and cheaper, these devices cost, some new player will come in, some local African player or Indian player will come in and try and, further optimize the cost to say $100. And that's when the adoption will happen, right? So that's what it is. So what is it that you do, Rodana? We've shared, what this side. Let's understand what you do.
So my work currently is nothing related to Web3. I mean, my actual work is not related to Web3. I've been playing in the data and analytics space for the past decade. I currently work at an institution in Durban, Durban University of Technology, driving sort of the strategy around the university as a strategic intelligence officer. But through my work, well, I've worked mostly in fintech, in fintech companies, in the banks, and I've also worked in an FMCG company as well. So through the previous work that I've done, I got exposed to crypto as it was starting to get a bit of buzz before COVID-19. And then that sort of led to me getting to know more about blockchain technology, which then led to me getting to know about Web3. Then I started noticing the opportunities that are there in Web3, the metaverse and adoption of the metaverse through e-commerce specifically, but also through the gaming space, because I did enjoy some games before as well. So that sort
Nice.
of opened my eyes to there's Web3 coming, and it's presenting huge opportunities. And that is sort of what is propelling me to sort of want to transition career-wise, or in terms of the work that I do, to want to do things that are aligning with Web3, metaverse, and blockchain technology. But currently what I've been doing is trying to create, similar to what you're doing with your platform, The Future of Web, be a catalyst to find a platform which can then bring the right discourse about Web3 and Web3 technologies. So that's where I'm at right now. So this is for my newly formed platform, where we just want to talk about the metaverse and how opportunities are there for South Africa, but Africa as a whole. And then the biggest point for me is, with the new technologies, we don't need to do it by ourselves in isolation. We are in a space where globally we can leverage off anyone who's within the space, who's moving within the space, so that we can move in unison with the world. But also a huge motivator for me, with Web2, it felt like Africa caught on very late with the Web2 technologies. And we didn't fully, explore the opportunities that came with Web2. So I'm one. I know there's a few other people who are engaged with you in South Africa who also feel the same way, that we shouldn't be left behind with Web3. We should also be very proactive, see what other people are doing in the world, and then start with adoption. But that has also led to me also starting a platform. I'm sure the next couple of months it will come live as well, where we're trying to go into the metaverse space and sort of, on a cultural preservation point of view, leverage Web3 technologies, so now we can preserve some of the cultural aspects that are being lost in South Africa through Web3 technology. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Hopefully I'll engage with you guys at some point if I can leverage off you guys as well. So yeah, that's what I currently do.
Oh, that's a fantastic use case, what you mentioned,
Mm.
right? So, cultural preservation. See, what happens with that is, because as long as you have photographs or some sort of a written or a,
Yeah.
image material for any of the things, especially like we all know Africa's artifacts were taken away by different, powers who were kind of, I mean, without naming anything, but I mean, it's a fact, it's a reality, and now,
It is our reality, yes.
right, it is the reality, right? It happened with India, it happened with Africa, and some countries of Southeast Asia. But what has happened is now, with the realization, with their own soul realization is what I say, a lot of countries are returning, these artifacts as well. But not everything can be returned, really, something which is lost or probably broken.
Yeah, sure.
So as long as you have that, so it is important for you as a generation, as a country, to engage, with people, to make sure, that history is passed on. Maybe not the artifact
Definitely.
itself, but the history and the culture passed on. So how do you do that? You use this technology. So for example, you imagine a situation where you can simply have a AR model of
Yeah.
an artifact, and kids can actually see it, like, okay, this is how it looks, this is what it is, and it's easy, we can do that for you. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? So these are very, very simple things that can be easily achieved, right? And yeah, that's how it works. So who's building your platform? Are you building your platform there? And
No, so
how has-
I was engaging with some guys called Tangra. I didn't have the capabilities on how to build the digital artifacts myself, so I was leveraging guys called Tangra. They sort of have built a metaverse of their own, But yeah, it's a slow process because I think there's that learning curve that needs to happen on my side as well to be able to play more in the building space. If someone was here locally who could assist with the building, but I'm still engaging with some guys who I've seen build metaverse stuff within South Africa. It's not as advanced as I was hoping it would be, which is why I think conversations globally are necessary because you can leverage of other people as well, and it's much easier to achieve now. So I wasn't aware of all the offerings that you guys have. So I think that conversation is also necessary. Then we can see how we take it from there. I don't intend on keeping you guys for longer than 30 minutes. So let me just at least moving on to my next nugget, which I think aligns with this. Do you think, or what are the educational steps that you think African countries or African policymakers can consider to sort of help with the adoption of the metaverse and Web3?
See, I always say that, especially normally what happens is technology leads the way and then policy making follows it. If you see everywhere in the world, that's how it works. First technology comes into the picture, then the policy is done. Same thing should be done for, Africa as well. That step one should be that you should educate a lot more people, and just not within the circle. It's important to engage with people from outside the circle. So, say somebody from US, somebody from Europe, somebody like us. So why it is, see, that was one reason, why my podcast in 33 episodes had people from 18 countries. You have different perspectives.
Sure. Definitely.
Right. So you should have, certain these seminars, the educations, say, for example, we do a lot of seminars. We had a AML, like that's for AML laws and regulation session in our metaverse office, which Raj mentioned earlier, 2 days back, I think last Friday. Right. And now we are, prepping, and that was for a team from Cyprus, some selected audience, who they wanted to talk about how can AML laws be done for metaverse, and, how can regulation be brought in. So you see, so it has to be contextual, if you do the same thing in, say, on Google Meet, or it will not be so effective till the time the people have seen it, and yeah. So and the other thing is the education bit, so you have to have more education around Web3, around NFTs, around metaverse within your ecosystem. So you're part of, like you said, you're part of your Durban University, right?
Yeah.
So you should have these sessions
Mm.
for your, university students. Because if you and, say 50 other people are just talking about it, it's not creating an impact on mass scale. Mass scale will only happen when you impact the future minds, like young minds. So I was in a session 2 days, not 2 days, last week, for about, I don't know, about 150 odd students, in a seminar, or talking about blockchain, and, how it is important.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, and that's a rigorous effort, it's not one session, 2 sessions will not do. It has to be a constant discussion.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I also aspire to engage the young ones. Hopefully we can have a situation where even those who live in the most remote areas are getting to experience these technologies, get to know about it, get
Absolutely.
to play around with it. So yeah, no, cool. I think from my side, that's all that I wanted to cover, just to have an understanding of what you guys sort of do, but also that perspective that you have. Like you say, we need to leverage other people who view things differently, sort of give a perspective on Africa and how Africa can leverage Web3. So for those who also watch this and want to know maybe more about what your organization, what the name is, and how to get hold of you guys or contact you guys.
You mean me?
Yeah, I mean
us. Okay. So we can definitely connect on LinkedIn, right? My company is called Anemoi Solution, and Raj, I would suggest you also connect with Rotanda, and figure out some opportunities of working together. I think that would be the right way to go ahead. And yeah, and my suggestion will be, let's start with some education sessions, for the university students.
Yeah.
Because you also have that understanding, right? And then we can talk about the metaverse or whatever, you guys want to build. at a later stage.
Cool, man. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for engaging with me today. I'm not sure what time it is over there. I think you guys are 3.5 hours ahead of me. So probably your work day is towards the end, but I'm on holiday today. It's Workers' Day in South Africa, so I'm
Okay.
relaxed. But all the best for the rest of your day.
Thank you. Just one question.
Thank you.
Where are you going to host this video somewhere else?
Yeah.
A podcast or something? Okay.
So that's the intention. That's why I wanted your guys' details to be there, so those who watch can engage with you guys further on exploring opportunities if they want to. So I'm creating I've created a YouTube channel where I'm gonna be posting conversations. I have a few conversations lined up with a few guys, just exploring these concepts, these terms, so that people can understand it.
Oh, cool. So send me the link, on LinkedIn. I'll have a look at it. And and for the uninitiated, the company is Anemoi Solutions. That's our company. We do metaverse, NFT marketplaces. We build smart contracts on different blockchains. We create dApps. Yeah, UI UX is something which I'm very proud of. So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Cool. No, I'll definitely send you the link. Probably post it sometime towards the end of the week, and
That's okay.
I'll let you know. Cool. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.